How's it going, guys? Delusional Pelicans fans here, and late night upload. Today I just want to have a little discussion on Markell Fultz and his improvement, over the years. Just a little topic I want to talk about since I think he's a very underrated player. As you saw in the title, so when Markell Fultz was first drafted, see, he had comparisons to James Harden, a D'Angelo Russell type player, and he actually, he looked like that in college. In college, I don't have his stats pulled up right now. Let me actually pull up his stats right now. Let me see. In Washington, he averaged, gotta find this. He averaged 23.2 points per game, and he shot 41% from three with 5 attempts. So, and he was a very crafty, like he had very crafty handles, very smooth player, one of the smoothest players in the game today. So, when saying translating to that to the league, I didn't think his translation was going to be that bad. I thought he was the best prospect in a draft over Jason Tatum, over I think De'Aaron Lonzo was in that draft too, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I think he was the best prospect in there just because of the way he was able to get to his shot. Preseason wouldn't have changed though. Jason Tatum like really balled out during that preseason year. I kind of remember that. I think I remember the game winner he hit over Markell Fultz in that preseason game. Um, that was like the little turning point because I kind of had a little doubts on Markell. Still thought he was a good prospect, but I mean, like he was like leaning down a little bit more just because of the fact that he was getting shown out by like another rookie, but he looked it good in preseason. I don't have the stats. I'm not gonna pull up the stats for preseason, but he played really good too. He still played really good. It was just Jason Tatum played a little bit better. As we know, Jason Tatum was the best prospect in that year's draft and is a perennial All Star, All NBA player, and could be a future MVP type player. But Markell, I believe, do have All NBA, All Star potential. All NBA might be pushing it, but let's look at the stats. First year with the 76ers, where he had his big injury problems and stuff like that, really didn't play too many games. When he did, he only played 18.1 minutes per game. He only averaged 7.1 points. Field goal percentage was only 40%. Nah, it was good. Okay. He didn't take a three as usual. And rebounding. I think this was also the year that Ben Simmons came back from his injury. So they had two guards working together, and the thing with Ben Simmons and Markell, they both need the balls in their hands to be crafty finishers, crafty scorers, playmakers. Like they both need the balls in their hands. You don't, you won't get the fullest of their potential without having the ball in each one of their hands. So it really wasn't a good fit. I believe Markell is better at playing off ball with his shot creation, even though he can't really shoot from three, but his 15 footer. Um, Everything I like that mid range area is like really good, and I'd really trust him to make that shot constantly. 2018 went to 22.5 points per game, 8.2 points, 41.9 field goal percentage, and 28.6 from three. I think this is the year we saw the free throws, all the bad stuff. This year he got traded. Then that was the year I think they got Jimmy Butler to come for the next year. So yeah, um, pretty much all I had to say in that year was just that he more struggle. Um, they got wiped off in that playoff series, I believe, if I remember correctly. Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics beat them, and I don't believe Ben Simmons only scored 1 point in one of the games. So that was kind of the beginning of the end. And I want to have another video about Ben Simmons and that whole debacle, whatever happened with Ben Simmons. But with Markelle Fultz, I didn't really get too much time. I don't think he was ready for the playoffs yet. I don't think really any of them was. But just getting shown out by Jason Tatum, that could have like really killed his confidence. So being traded to the Magic and in 2019, he started averaging 12 point, yeah, double digits, and averaged 12.1 points per game. You see a little bit more 20 point per games. Like, oh, I was looking at Markelle Fultz. I'm like, wow, this dude has really crazy potential. Like, I was looking at him and I was looking at Lonzo. I'm like, wow, these dudes can be most improved players one day. Now, as a Pelicans fan, Lonzo did leave. I still see him as a most improved player candidate one day. I do believe Markelle Fultz has the higher potential out of the two. I believe that besides defense and playmaking, which sounds like a good bid, but I believe Markell isn't that bad of a defender. Playmaking, he's far probably a better, not even that better of a half court playmaker than Lonzo, but definitely not better full court playmaker than Lonzo. Lonzo's better, one of the best full court playmakers in the game. I can say that as a Pelicans fan, watching him do the full court lobs to Zion. But Markell Fultz being able to create his shot in half court benefits his playmaking in that area. But potential wise, I believe he is a better finisher, uh, a better, different type of, better scorer than what Lonzo could be if he would develop his three. So hot take, if Markel developed a three, I believe that he could be better than what Lonzo is right now. Be a way above an average player. Could be all star potential. I believe he could be like a D'Angelo Russell, somebody can, a crafty player who can get to his shot. Probably a little bit even better because he's a little bit more athletic and not afraid of contact. Like D'Angelo Russell, his problem is that he's like really fierce to contact. That's the one thing with D'Angelo Russell that is really high, like holds him back. But this year, 2019, we saw a lot of improvement. They made the playoff push. I don't know if he played during that playoffs. Um, I'll try to look at it real quick, but I don't really know if he played during that playoffs, that series. But I remember like a lot of their team got injured, so I don't know if he was part of one of the many injuries that they had. But they got their one free win like that every eighth seed gets, and then that's it. And then that was the end of that. And then off to next season and the season, 2020 season, the beginning of that season. Man, Markel was balling out in the beginning of the season, averaged 12.9 points. His efficiency, his field goal percentage went down. His 3-point percentage went down, and that might sound bad, but you could tell he was a much better overall player. He got less minutes to it, so that also contribute to it. But he did average more assists, so that could be another thing. Finally, like becoming more of a playmaker, becoming more the point guard next to Vooch and Aaron Gordon, who were still there. But as you know, he had the ACL injury. It was one of the saddest things I've seen. But that's besides the point. I really don't want to talk about the injury. I just want to talk about how good I believe Markelle Fultz can be. Like, look at this guy in college. He was a really crafty scorer. There's a reason why he was the number one prospect in the draft. The way he gets his shots, he forces the contact, and he embraces the contact and wants the contact. Like goes up against LeBron. You see the way he's able to create a shot. Kind of reminds me of like, I don't want to say Dwayne Wade, like an athleticism, but just the way he like crafty James Harden like goes to the rim like that. That's the potential we thought he had back in Washington. It might be a little different now since he's a little older now. He might not reach that full potential, but there's never too late in the NBA to reach your potential. You could reach your potential at 32 years old. He could become an All NBA player. You never know. The NBA is so wild these days. It's crazy. You got people being 37 still technically in their prime, a little falling off. You know who I'm talking about. But yes, Markelle Fultz, I believe he has really all-star potential. And let's talk about the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic drafted Jalen Suggs, and they have Cole Anthony and RJ Hampton. Now, if I'm them, all right. So frankly, I don't believe in Cole Anthony's ability that much. I think he's really just a shot chucker. I don't believe that he's a very good, efficient player. I don't have his stats up right now. I'll be more prepared for the next video. But I don't believe he's really that good as a playmaker, all that stuff. I think he's really just a shot chucker. If kind of harsh on him. He still has potential to be like maybe a like good 6 man off the bench, but I don't see him being as good of a 6 man. Maybe that's what Kobe White would be. I just feel like Kobe White's more developed in more areas and aspects of the game than Cole Anthony. He's a pretty bad defender, lackluster playmaker, and he's a good shot creator with a good, nice handle. RJ Hampton is somebody I do believe in. I was really going to get his jersey because I have high hopes in his ability, his athletic ability. He went in Australia battle with LaMelo, got a little overperformed by him, but I wasn't say he get as good as LaMelo, but his athletic ability, I sense a little Donovan Mitchell in him. I'm just a little sense, like a little sniff of Donovan Mitchell. That's what I see. So he would be my backup shooting guard. Cole would probably be my backup point guard if I have to. Jalen Suggs, I see him starting. I don't really believe in his ability that much, like over a Scotty Barnes. I always thought Scotty Barnes was a better prospect. I believe Jalen Green was always the better prospect. Cade Cunningham, better prospect. Evan Mobley, better prospect. Ceiling I see for Jalen Suggs at most is maybe a Drew Holiday, Gary Payton type player with a tenacity on defense, really good shot creation, and a really good team player that's good playmaking. At worst, maybe like a maybe a Goran Dragic. I don't know, somebody who's a good team player and shot creator, but maybe the defense doesn't pan out that well. But I see him being a good starting guard that they should start. Um, Markell could start at the two. Hopefully, he doesn't have a slow recovery in the beginning. Hopefully, like this is all saying he Markell would come back normally, and he'd have a just go back into like becoming normal Markell Fultz and not at like change anything. Um, they should be getting Wendell Carter Jr. back. Wendell Carter Jr. is one of my favorite players to watch. A really great team defender. Almost reminds me of like a bigger Draymond in the fact that he can like guard many positions and very tenacious, whatever it is on defense, guarding bigger men. Um, Offensive ability, kind of wishy-washy. He's not the best offensive player. Um, um, what's his face? Jonathan Isaac should be coming back from ACL injury. His problem is he just got to stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, you could definitely see him as one of the best defenders in the game. And his shot creation was coming along in the bubble. I think he was shooting like 38 something from three or 35 from three, something league average on good attempts. So it was coming along. So I see him being a small forward. Mo Bamba, I really think they just gave up on Mo Bamba. I don't think they care about Mo Bamba anymore, which is kind of sad because I see Mo Bamba being could at most at has the potential to be a Christian Wood type player with a little bit of better defense if he really bought into the system and if he really wanted to play defense. But I feel like Mo Bamba really doesn't like to play defense, and he's like 7'1" with a 7 foot like 10 wingspan, so you're gonna have to play defense. Franz Wagner, I didn't really watch him in preseason that much. I've heard from Magic fans he looks kind of like a bust. I don't want to say he's a bust just yet because it was preseason and Kate Cunningham didn't look that great in preseason. So we really don't know. Anybody else major that they signed? Chumo Kiki, one really good defender. I really wanted the Pelicans to draft him in the what was it, the 2020 draft? Yes, 2020 draft. Really wanted the Pelicans to draft him. Really good player. Really good tenacious defender. I say tenacious a lot. Really good defender. I really wanted the Pelicans to get him because he was a nice team player that could really develop his shot creation over time. Anybody else notable on that team that I could talk about? I don't know if there's anyone I forget. I don't think there is, but yeah, I just really wanted to come on here and talk about Markelle Fultz and I see his potential being like a D'Angelo Russell, James Harden. At most, I'd say, to be honest, like at most right now, I say D'Angelo Russell. He could be like a little better D'Angelo Russell, which is an All-Star type player in the East, definitely in the East, All-Star type player. For him to become a James Harden type level, he this year he has to get his shot creation down. He has to get his shooter stroke down, and then they would have to rebuild the whole team around him and have him shot chuck. Not saying James Harden was a shot chucker at all. James Harden one of the best playmakers in the game. I'm not Giannis. I'm not going to discredit his playmaking just because he averaged a lot of points. But it is what it is. That's all I want to talk about today. Hope you all enjoyed my NBA discussion. I might have another one coming out later today, tomorrow. Maybe kind of want to talk about Trey Murphy the third, and how I like him on the fit with the Pelicans. Delusional Pelicans fan, retired delusional Pelicans fan. I'll see y'all another day. All right, I'm out.